Hey there, what's up everyone? My name is Terrifier, and welcome back to Minecraft, and now I'm going to be trying to do something that I actually have legitimately never done before. And that thing is starting a game in survival mode without cheats and trying to get all the way through it until I make it to the end and defeat the Ender Dragon. That is something that I've never actually successfully completed. It's stuff that I've attempted in the past before, but it's something that I've never actually done before. I've killed the Ender Dragon before with creative mode and with mods, but in terms of actually just being in single player and without cheats or anything, and getting all the way to finding a stronghold and stuff, and collecting Eyes of Ender to put into the portal, hop into it, get to the Ender Dragon, fight it, kill it, and that's that. I've never actually done that before. So I'm going to be trying to do that right here, and we're going to see how well it goes. So I'm going to have to really play my cards carefully in this world. So let's do it. Okay, this new world is just going to be called DRAGONSLAYER. Survival, yes. Bonus chest, yeah, sure, we'll keep it on. Allow cheats off. We're keeping that off. And create new world. Okay, here we are. And, oh! What a fun place to start. A little altar of pumpkins around my hovering chest. That's paranormal. Must be fueled with a Halloween spirit. Okay, thank you very much for all these goodies. Now I've got myself some pumpkins too. And because I am going to be continuously searching for a stronghold, I'm not going to actually, settle down. I'm not actually going to make a house anywhere. I'm just going to keep on traveling until I find a stronghold, and then I'm going to make a house. So I'm going to have to... The stuff that I've got with me right here, I'm going to have to preserve it as best I can. And choose carefully what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. I'm definitely going to want to keep food. I'm going to want to try to get golden apples and potions. And also iron and coal and stone right near where I spawn. This is literally like the best spawn point that I've ever had. And any time I've ever played Minecraft ever. That's a good sign. The heck is an apple doing over there? Oh, it must have fallen from the tree. Just look up and I just see this apple there. I'm like, what? Yeah, because there's a village right here, I'm going to actually go in. I'm not going to make myself a crafting table because sometimes a home in a village has a crafting table. So to save my wood, I'm going to look around and see if I can find a crafting table. I see a brewing stand inside of here, so that'll save me the trouble of needing to go to the nether and get a blaze rod so I can craft the brewing stand. And there's a white bed. I can use a rose to combine it. Oh, wait a second. No, I do need to go to the nether still because blaze powder. I need blaze powder in order to actually fuel the brewing stand. I forgot that was an update. Dang it. I don't know which kinds of houses have crafting tables or not. Ooh, this one's got a blast furnace. These are like special types of furnaces because they're able to cook up, they're only able to cook up ores. Only ores, but they can cook the ores like twice as fast as normal furnaces can cook anything else. So that's handy. What's in here? A bunch of potatoes, sapling, book. I don't really think I need the book. Let's leave that there. Normally I'd like to make a book and quill to take along with me to document my adventures. Emerald. But I don't think I'm going to want to do that. Okay, so it doesn't look like this village has a crafting table, so that's unfortunate. That's alright. It doesn't have a crafting table, it doesn't have a crafting table. I guess I'll just have to make my own. Oops. Do I have any sticks? I have 6 sticks, but there's more here, as well as an apple. And now, I guess I'm just gonna have to... I've got 11. I usually like to get 20 stone before I start before I start using it in crafting. Now let's get some of this. Oh, it lagged. Thank you. Delayed reaction. Sometimes I'm getting bad bars on multiplayer servers, as I'm sure that I told you, or not told you, like you, the audience. I'm sure I've said when I was playing that murder mystery game with Star Wolf Legacy before. But yeah. So thank you. Get myself coal. I'm using this. This pickaxe takes a while to mine the coal, but it still makes it in the end. So So I'm gonna want to craft this, and I'm not gonna use this to mine the stone pickaxe to mine any coal. I'm gonna use it to mine this iron. So I feel like I'm rambling, telling about exactly what I'm doing. You guys are probably getting like really bored. I just don't know. I just don't really know what to commentate with. I really don't know for these Minecraft videos that I do. It's one of the problems with playing Minecraft is that unless you're like on a multiplayer server playing with other people, and if you're just like in a single player world, there really isn't that much to commentate on. You could talk about other topics, sure, but I mean, like, I don't know what other topics I could talk about. I did tell you guys before about my abandoned mine shaft too. Jeez, this spawn point has a whole package. I did tell you guys about my thoughts on the Sonic movie, judging by the trailer. So I figure I could tell you guys about my thoughts on another movie. Okay, so another movie to talk about. I figure I'll talk about the movie. Like I'm wanting to pick one that I've actually seen before, and that has already come out like recently. So I'm going to go with Brightburn, I think. The movie that's about an evil Superman. Because evil Superman concept... Hi! I don't have a weapon, but I'll try to fight you anyways. Ouch. Hey, cool! Yeah, shoot your brother. Okay, one of you missed me. Cool, I did it! Boom! Okay, I'm gonna die. Okay, I died. Well, respawn. So yeah, the evil Superman concept has been played with before, but it's been used in like comics and stuff. The heck is rabbit hide? I can make leather with it apparently. I'm getting sidetracked, I'm sorry. But this movie, to my knowledge, was the first time that it was actually, used in a movie instead of a comic. And the particular comic where I saw it being used in was a comic that was called Bump in the Night, like Superman Bump in the Night, I think. And it was pretty darn cool. Now there's two of you again. Oh my gosh, can't you guys just fight? Is there a spawner? Is there like a spawner? A skeleton spawner? Hold on a second. I'm gonna bury you all. Okay, that wasn't as effective as I was hoping. Oh! Okay. There we go. Dang it. That one's still alive. Okay. Gonna eat an apple. Damn it. Don't shoot me, bro. Okay. This is not going well. This is really not going well for me at all. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to deal with these skeletons first. For some strange reason, this cave spawns skeletons and only skeletons. There was two of them. I kill one of them, and then I go back and I see that not two, but three of them are now there. Possibly four. I'm not sure. But yeah, this cave has lost skeletons, so I'm just gonna go down there. I'm gonna grab my stuff. Saw that one of them died. That's good. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna grab my stuff. Thank you. No, I'm not going to deal with you. There's iron down there, and I still want the iron, but I'm not going to deal with you. I am going... Let's see, 3 attack speed. I'm going to use this. There we go. That helps. Letting the fire take him down. Oh, good. Did the rest of them die? Oh, yeah, the rest of them died. Okay, good. Now I can talk about the movie. So the movie was straight up a horror movie, like a slasher movie. And I do think that, I do have my pros and my cons about it. I'm just saying all this off the top of my head, so it might not sound like as well scripted as other people's videos on this topic have done, but I'm still gonna try anyways, so good night. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna make myself 4 bowls. And then I'm gonna cook up these 2 iron with it. Okay. The normal Superman story, what it is that Superman, he falls to Earth as a, as like a little baby in a little spaceship, a little space pod. This family finds him and adopts him, and then and he has a good life, and he grows up to be the superpowered hero we all know today. But with Brandon, the kid in this movie who becomes Brightburn, the villain, Brandon Brayer, that's his name. He was also fallen from space in a little space capsule, little spaceship, and he basically was adopted as well. but he didn't exactly have a good life. He was bullied in school quite a bit, and then he turns into a supervillain. And he's got all the same powers that Superman does. He's got the flight, the super speed, the super strength, the invulnerability, especially the laser vision as well, which was one of the coolest things about him. So the movie like didn't really have like a lot of music in it. It like a lot of a lot of points in the movie, especially the scary points, the points where he would kill someone, it would get like very quiet. And that was basically, to me, it was alluding to the fact that, like, to the possibility of there being a jump scare. That was completely the vibe that I got. The movie was made on a low budget of $7 million, and despite that, it still looked pretty well made. It was still pretty well made. Like, not a lot was happening in it, and like it did seem like the movie was trying to rush to get to the point where he would to the point where Brandon would become evil or do creepy things. And the way that some of the scenes were edited, like the way that it was switched from one scene to the next, there was no smooth transition. Just like one day it would be like nighttime when he was on like a camping trip with his mom, and then all of a sudden, snap of the fingers, he's instantly at school. Like it's like though that's just one example, but there were times when the pacing just like switched way too drastically from one scene to the next. That was something I didn't really like about the movie, and that I wish they could have done better. Oh good, skeletons. Well, at least I've got a sword this time. And I do like the way that they showed him using his superpowers. Like you got to see him fly a lot. And you also didn't get to see his laser vision too much. Like there were a few brief moments where he used them, like one where he just got when he figured out, or when he was told basically what he actually was. And there was another scene where he used it to getting a lot of good stuff. And there's another scene where he used his laser eyes to actually kill someone. And I already pointed out earlier, but I'm also going to point out now that this is going to like delve into spoiler territory, this review. So just so you know, because I was going to tell you who got zapped. I was going to tell you who got zapped, and that person was his dad. And the way that they built up to the deaths of a lot of the characters were okay. Like it did seem to me like there was too much build up and not enough payoff. Because you could see like the one scene in the diner with that waitress Erica. You can see him like first of all you see his scrawl written all over the windows, and then you get to see him briefly zipping by the windows like really fast, and then eventually when she goes and locks herself in that metal room, the freezer I think it was, then he like uses his laser vision to zap the doors and then in half and then breaks them down. Another village. And then you see him just standing there staring at her, and then he lunges at her in the blink of an eye, and then like the scene cuts away, and it does like cut away quite a bit with regards to him killing people. Like there were scenes like with killing his dad, for instance, it got to show it in detail of him like zapping him like right in the eyes until he blasted out the back of his head. That was really powerful. But then after that happened, then the scene just like showed like a shot of the forest, and then it like went back to the house. And then that was another example of the scene cutting too quickly. And with regards to the actual like utilization of killing his victims, it always seemed like there was something missing for every single person that he did this to. Like every single person that he used his superpowers on or that he killed, it seemed like sure there was build up to it, and there were times when the payoff would just cut away. Like I already mentioned about that scene with Erica in the diner, and there was another instance where Brandon had broken Erica's daughter, Caitlin, like broke her hand, and there was build up to that. But then the moment he actually broke her hand, then like it then cut away again. in that instance, I could kind of tell what the developers were going for, but it still just felt like it just cut off too quickly. And with also killing his uncle by lifting the car and slamming it down, that was pretty good. That one, you did get to see the payoff, the aftermath. And that was actually one of the instances where I literally couldn't look at the screen because I literally felt nauseous. Just listening to the sound of him choking on his own blood was already enough to make me gag. And basically his lower jaw got torn almost completely off, and it was just hanging by like strings of flesh. And the reason I didn't look at that scene was because there was already another scene earlier that also had something that made me squirm, which again was in the scene in the diner with Erica. And that scene was that an overhead light shattered and a piece of the glass got stabbed right into her eye. Not this eye, it was actually this eye. And it actually showed it in close detail. The shard sticking out of there, the little trail of blood leaking out of it. And then it also showed her actually pulling the shard out. Like close up of her like reaching and then like pulling and then pulling it out. And there was like the sickening kind of sound to go along with it, and the whole thing like just repulsed me. And then later on in that same scene, you could see that the eye was like quote unquote deflated, and like it was just like flattened, and all the blood that was inside it had leaked out. It was literally, because of that scene, it now made me like fear to view the outcome of any of the other deaths that Brandon would do. What? Why? Okay, I placed my bed. This isn't a leg. I broke a piece of sand and I was able to pick it up. Why did I place my bed and then it vanished? Hold on a second. I'm gonna get out of this game and get back into it. Hold on. Okay, it's back in my inventory now. Place it. Now let's go to sleep, please. Good night. Okay. And my seeds are also still in my inventory, even though I put them in that chest up there. I'll actually get rid of them for good, like this. And another thing that bothered me about the movie, I feel like I'm listing all the things that bothered me about the movie first, but trust me, I will get into the stuff that I liked about it later on. After I cover everything that I didn't like. So yeah, I already told about like the pacing of the story. Another thing about the story that I didn't like was the explanation for like what planets that Brandon came from. Why was he sent to Earth? Like it just seemed like this is the exact same village I went to before. Freak that! It seemed like it was like too obviously setting up a sequel. And that's another thing that people were wondering about, is this movie going to get a sequel? And I personally believe that yes, because the way that it ended, it doesn't seem like a satisfactory ending. It seems like there's still a lot to be explained. So if we're going to have it explained, then that means that yes, we would need a sequel. Anyways. The other thing that I wasn't all that happy about was the execution of some of the ways that Brandon killed people. And I'm going into detail a lot about him killing people because again, this is basically a slasher movie, so you know you should expect him to kill people. Like when the cops showed up to the house. And then Brandon like flew right into the sheriff and like exploded him into pieces. Like that was cool, but again, he's flying too fast. Yeah, I literally couldn't even see him. I just saw like all of a sudden something blurry rammed into the sheriff, and then he's just a bloody mess. And then there was the scene about where he was lifting the car and then slamming it down to the ground, his uncle's car. And in that case, you didn't actually get to see too clearly he was lifting up the car. You didn't actually get to see him like clinging onto the rear bumper and then him like lifting it up and then pushing it down and then slamming it on the ground. You didn't get to see that. What you instead saw, you got a lot of close-ups of like inside the car and of his uncle like freaking out about it, and you also got to see close-ups of the tires like being lifted off the pavement and into the air. you and there wasn't a lot of like seeing the car as a whole lifting up. And that was something that I feel like was missing in that scene. It would have made the scene a whole lot better. I know that if this was a superhero movie, like just like a superhero action oriented movie, then yeah, we would have seen that. But and I know that it isn't just a superhero movie, it's technically a horror movie, but it's still like the superhero genre. It's superhero horror. There's two movie genres that were combined, and because it's got that superhero thing, that means that people should expect like to actually see the payoff of that kind of action. Because in every single superhero movie that I've ever seen, and I'm not just talking about the Marvel stuff either, then you always get to see like full view of the action, and you weren't able to very well with that scene in particular. And then there was also the final scene where, again, spoilers, where he kills his mom, and he does that by lifting her up into the air and then dropping her so that she hits the ground and dies. And it showed him like smashing her roof of the barn, and then the two of them going up into the clouds together. That was good. You didn't get to actually see her in a bloody splattered mess on the ground, and I figured the movie already showed the bloody splattered mess of the sheriff after Brandon rammed into him, so why wouldn't it do the same with the mom? I don't know. Just something that puzzled me, that's all. And then after that, then you see a plane coming towards Brandon, and this I was thinking, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to want to see what he does to this plane. And then it just cuts away again, and then it shows a news report showing the aftermath of it. It shows the plane crashed into his home. The person speaking into the microphone said that there were no survivors. I think my finger accidentally went up my nose there for a second. Sorry. It said that there were no survivors. Again, you saw the payoff. There was like little to no build up for that. Just saw the plane coming towards them, and that was it. You saw the payoff of it. You did not see the execution of it, and the execution again was something that I was hoping to see a lot more of in this movie. But as is, I mean, like, it was made on a low budget, and also you can't really expect too much out of it if it's not made with the $20 million that I think Black Panther, for instance, was made on, and I think it was made on $20 million. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, barring that, now it's time for me to get into the stuff that I liked about the movie. So first off, I'm going to mention that the horror aspect. The horror parts of the movie, a couple of them, the scenes in the diner and the scene with his uncle, like they mostly relied on visually, graphically disturbing and disgustingness as an element of horror. And that is a kind of horror that literally gets me every single time. So I personally thought it was beautifully done, and the horror everywhere else had like a lot of build up. Sometimes it had no payoff, which was okay. It was like the movie was like basically going against your expectations there. But then the rest of the horror, the rest of the build up was really excellent. Like seriously really excellent. I haven't gotten this much anticipation building up in my bones since I watched It Chapter 1. And by the way, I have been seeing the trailers for It Chapter 2. It looks freaking awesome. Cannot wait for it. And I already mentioned this before, but another thing I liked about Brightburn is the utilization of his powers. You should with him, like, fly with regards to him flying, like, it seemed like they were using like the exact same kind of special effects that they used for like regular Superman when he flies, which he is technically an evil Superman, so it's fine if that's what they want to do. The laser vision was excellent. Like it's like he's got like his own weapon on his side, his own personal weapon on his side. I really liked that. I liked how his eyes glowed so that it showed that he was ready to use his laser vision at any point, because Superman's eyes always glow red whenever or before he zaps his eye lasers. And it's the same case with Brandon. So if they're just ordinary glowing red and no laser zapping out, that's showing that he could zap them out at any point. And until then, he just looks freaking scary. It also played with a couple of other fears too, the movie did. One of those fears being basically showing just how vulnerable we would be going up against a super being like Brandon. And that was perfectly executed by like the glass in the eye, the jaw almost getting cut off, the hand being broken, stuff like that. Like all of that. Basically, I think that the part that really scared me the most about that was not just the visual disturbingness of it, because that just more nauseated me than scared me. The scary part about it is that it shows just how vulnerable we would be going up against a super being like Brandon. And I hope that if there's a sequel, there is going to be like a good version of Lex Luthor that goes up against him. And the other fear that the movie played into was basically, I think, the fear that any parent has of their finding out that their kid is evil. Like, basically, if I was a parent, I'm not, but if I was, and I like saw the moment that Brandon's mother, after denying that he's evil, like throughout the entire movie, not even like outright rejecting the idea of it, and not even considering it, and then finding out later on when she goes through his notebook, finding out all of his evil intentions, and seeing like the horror and realization that she gets. If I was actually a parent, that scene would have freaked me out as well, because I think that the fear of finding out that your kid is evil is something that any parent has, and that's why the parent would be like willing to turn a blind eye. They don't want to believe that their kid is evil, and I think that's why the movie was having her like deny that he's evil like throughout the entire movie. And it seemed like, and it was okay at first, but eventually it seemed like it was like becoming overused. I've really got to eat something. Hold on. I really got to eat something. Let me just eat a couple of steaks that ought to tide me over. Yeah, it seemed like it was getting overused eventually. It was fine the first few times. Eventually it was overused, and I was really hoping that she would like see in the end. Not like she ended up realizing it too late, of course, and part of me does kind of wish that she realized it earlier, or at least went along with what her dad was saying, because her dad was believing that he was evil way before she realized it. And basically, yeah, it leaves me wondering what would have happened if she figured it out earlier, or if she believed it earlier. But as is, it was fine. I kind of feel like I was going into like too much detail of the stuff that I didn't like than the stuff that I did like. Like I tried to go into more detail regarding what I liked about the movie, but I kind of went into a little too much detail with the stuff I didn't like, and I apologize for that. So yeah, I haven't been doing this episode for a while, so I figure this is why I'm going to leave it off here. Told you guys my thoughts on the movie. It's an R-rated. I highly recommend it. I would give it like about an 8 out of 10, I'd say. I would give the movie about an 8 out of 10. Basically, I know that all those problems I had into before and the detail I went into it, it sounds like I would give it a much lower rating than that. But there were certain things that I was hoping for in this movie, which was basically being able to see him utilize his powers to their fullest potential to kill people, and that interest of mine was met flawlessly. So that's enough for me to forgive those mistakes. Not all of them, but mistakes. What am I saying? Forgive those little things that I saw as errors in the movie, but not all of them. Like certain stuff, like the plot, the whole story of it all. That's still something that I don't feel like that I can just write off just yet, because it still leaves me wondering, where did Brandon come from? Why was he sent to Earth? Like, there's still questions to be answered, and that's why, as I said before, that's why I feel like there's going to be a sequel, because even at the end of the movie, there was even mentioning of like other super beings, like an evil version of Aquaman, an evil version of Wonder Woman. There's there's more super beings, and if any of these movies could have, if any future movies could, like, not necessarily be a Brightburn 2, which it being about Brandon again, because it feels almost like his story arc is complete and he's come to the character where he is now, but it feels like the universe of that movie itself, there's a lot more to be expanded on. And if there could be more movies that feature these other evil creatures, the evil Aquaman, the evil Wonder Woman, and then any of the other ones, any of the other evil members of the Justice League, they basically, if there could be if any future sequels could like focus on them, that would be really good. And then eventually, after we get like several movies, each one featuring a different evil version of a beloved DC superhero, the studio pulls off a Justice League movie move where it like combines all of them together in the exact same movie. That is something that I would absolutely love to see. Hands down, 110%. I would love to see that happen. Anyways, so yeah, that's going to be the way I end the episode off here. I promise in the next episode... Sorry, bumped my trash bin there. I promise in the next episode I will not be focusing so much on talking about a movie. I just didn't know what to talk about while I was getting started here. And I will be focusing more on the game itself. I promise I will do that in the next episode. So, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.